everyone. Welcome to VR Verdict Podcast, episode 147, our weekly podcast where we talk about everything VR. I'm PJ.
I'm Wookiee.
And we're here to share VR with you. It's been a while. We nailed it.
You nailed it?
Yeah, last time we messed up the opening.
Oh, wow. All right.
So, good to be back. It has been a bit. But starting now, we're going to try and do 2 episodes a month and keep working on stuff. And next week, we'll have a guest. So, yeah, getting back on the saddle. So, how you been?
Busy. A little tired. How about you?
Yes, busy. Work has been busy. Real life has been busy. Gaming's been busy. So yeah, busy.
I haven't played much since we rolled around Warcraft, but that's been a couple months, it seems like.
Yeah, but you got into a couple games, VR games with us. Among Us, you played once. Creatures. Yeah. So what did you think of Among Us? I've never got to ask you. I know it was kind of like I think it's a weird game to like start off in because you're with a lot of people and.
It was okay. I mean, arguing is not my type of fun, trying to debate in the game. It's a neat feature of it, but I got a little annoyed. I won't deny. I think you published a clip where I was going to publish a follow-up clip because I think I was swearing a lot in that clip. Not really mean or mad or anything, but like some guy like immediately called us all to the table after we were, like in the next round. So a round finished and he called us to the table and I was like, fuck you, buddy. Because somebody kept doing it the previous round and he was one of them. And then he voted me out. And I was like, you fucking moron. And it's funny because had him ejected from the ship. Like it was a unanimous vote because he was being so dumb. I don't remember the guy's name. Seemed like a nice guy in Breachers, but like, what the hell are you doing? But I didn't get to publish the reason why is because like they thought I was the killer because I wasn't getting anything done. I had one task left. It was like Simon Says. I kept getting all the way across the ship to that, and I would almost finish, and they would recall everybody to the damn lunchroom, and then just talk about nothing. And the other guy was like obviously pointing at me like I had nothing going on. He's like, "Oh, it's got to be Wookiee," and I was just like, "Okay, I see the point of this game." And then the other guy was dumb enough to fall for it, but he pulled me back to the lunchroom like 5 times. It felt like I wasn't counting. It was like, oh, like I'm not even exaggerating. Really, I got to that stupid Simon Says. I'm like, let me finish it, guys. I don't think anybody can hear you because you're out of the distance. But I'm just sitting there like, God damn it! And then they evicted me, and the guy lost because of it. And immediately in the next round, he calls everybody. He's like, "I can't do it again." And we all voted him out. And it was like, so I don't know, like.
Yeah, well, I don't think. Yeah, I do too. I'm kind of right with you. I don't think that's a game for us because I deal with a lot of like bullshit at work, and it's like I don't want to deal with bullshit in my game, and I'm not one to argue.
Right. I mean, I like the espionage stuff, like the Assassin's Creed multiplayer that I've loved. I don't remember when that even happened, but like. Hiding in plain sight and using trickery, even though you couldn't talk in that game, really, it was just like, I look just like everybody else. I'm just standing here. But I think you might be on something there because dealing with just like random people is annoying enough, but then seeing obviously stupid things go on, like you're minding your business and some guy goes, "It's Wookiee," because I have no idea why, but they're obviously the killer or one of them. Just painting you, I'm like, I'm just standing here doing tasks, like, but you can't convince the morons that it's not you. So I get there's an element of fun to it, but it's like,
it's for talkers.
And you get
having said that, we're on a podcast right now. I get that,
but I think it's for more like loudmouths than me.
Yeah.
So would I play it again? Oh crap! Did I forget to refund it? I probably forgot to refund it. Shit. It's not my style of game. I like a little
If
more
they could figure out a way to do the same gameplay stuff and not have the discussion part, I would love it.
but like, then you're just walking around doing tasks for no reason.
Yeah, but if there was a way, kind of like you mentioned Assassin's Creed, to like just kind of like make it into more of a game instead of like you do something for 5 minutes and then you got to argue about it. Like take out the arguing part and make something else. I would dig it more.
Yeah, I mean, I do see why some people would like the arguing because it's kind of like a Friday night, card or board game where you gotta, wrestle with your family a little bit verbally, and be like, and all that stuff. I get it, but it's just, eh,
Yeah.
eh. But I've been also like, maybe that's just me too. I know you say you're in the same boat, but my gaming tastes have just been changing lately. Like I have less time for like bullshit. Like,
Yep.
if I'm going to play that game, you had a bunch of people in the room. We had to like talk Oculus guys and stuff. So I'm like, we had a bunch of people. I want to take advantage of hanging out with some folks if they're cool. But like, I ain't going on there for a random room. Like that game is not.
I couldn't.
Fun. Like I have too much to do, and if a game like at this point, it's going to be hard for me to find like a new favorite game unless it's like obvious. And I hate to, I don't want to spark anything, but like I didn't really care for Breath of the Wild. I gave it like 30 minutes. The new Zelda. Don't mean to start shit, but like you showed me, like somebody linked me like Legos, like there's like the Lego building thing in it, and I'm like, I'd just go play Wind Waker. I don't know, like, yeah, that seems fine, but it just doesn't seem like my Zelda. It's like, yeah, I forget which of the new Star Wars movies was the horrible one where Han Solo died, and then there's the other one, and I don't think I saw the third one at all. I don't remember, but the end of that second one where Luke Skywalker was being all badass, that was a really cool scene, but it also didn't feel like Luke Skywalker. So that's kind of like how I'm dealing with the new Zeldas. Like I think I'm done after Wind Waker because of the Twilight Princess. I tried like hell. I couldn't get into that at all.
Yeah.
So my tastes are changing, or it's just like I have to cut the. I would like to be able to just play indie games and all these other things for like just pure playing the game, even if it's not fun. Like I see what they're trying to do there. That's awesome. I see what this is trying to do. Like I can't just go play like the Mafia or Yakuza series just because I haven't played them yet, even though those are both kind of on the list, but I've never gotten around to it. I kind of got to be more invested before I even start. So I think it's my lack of time that's affecting the gaming habit.
Yeah, I do get that because, and we'll get to VR in a minute. Hold on. Twilight, the new Zelda came. I always fuck up the name. I've put like 60 hours in it, and I still don't have it right. But I had a long weekend when it came out. I had a 3-day weekend. That's all I did, and I loved it.
Yeah.
But those kind of games, I don't want to play. I don't even want to touch if I don't have more than like 2 or 3 days that I can just do that. So I get what you're saying. And I feel the same way for a lot of things. Like throughout the year, we have like a normal like kind of chain where like I don't even feel like gaming, and it's like a month long, kind of in the summer. It happens every year. So there's stuff that affects that, and time is a big thing, and dealing with a lot of work shit sometimes. Like it's like some weeks like dealing with the same shit at work. It's like I have to game, I have to do something. But the same thing, like the next week's like I don't even feel like gaming. Like I'm just done. So
yeah, and
it's weird.
I think I have one of those. What's the name? What's the term for it? Waiting mode is kind of like an ADHD thing. And again, I'm undiagnosed ADHD, but I have a lot of the habits, and I don't know if it's just because modern lifestyle and phone and trying to, I really want to watch this episode of this TV show, but I really want to play I don't know, Warcraft. So I'll just have that on in the background, and then your brain starts to like split off and do crazy things. But it's like if if we scheduled the podcast recording for like 6 p.m. on a Saturday, I kind of would be in a frozen state of, waiting for that 6 p.m. And I think that's just a problem with time, I don't know, management as a whole. So it's kind of, I keep, everyone probably knows who listens that I just love The Witcher 3. Like that has to be one of my top games. I love 2, but my PC couldn't handle it and it was more linear, but like 3 was just a masterpiece. And I still have the DLC down from every platform where I can get the physical Gwent cards from. So I've never played DLC because it's like partly what you said, unless you got a good couple of days to devote to it, it's kind of like a shame so you don't start it. But it's kind of like if we did have a podcast guest from another time zone and it was like, in the middle of the evening or late afternoon on a Saturday, would I be able to enjoy that? But knowing that I have a commitment, like an external commitment sitting here, it'd be in my mind the whole time while I'm playing. It's like, okay, what is going on with that? So that does hinder me too. So now, even more so, I'd just like to try to get everything done by noon, like just stack it, and then I pass out or I'm like a zombie. So, adulting sucks. What can I say? Even got a Steam Deck. I don't use it.
Yeah, comes and goes.
Yep.
I'm sitting here like with my neck turned looking at you and I'm in a goddamn swivel chair. I'm like, just move, you're in VR. Like dumbass.
Yeah. So I get that.
Yeah. So it's May 25th. 3 games came out. And as I'm sitting here watching stuff behind you, I apologize. We're going to talk about Crimen, Mercenary Tales, Hello Neighbor, Search and Rescue, the VR version, and Everslaught. They sent me the wrong media for Hello Neighbor. This is showing like flat screen, like Hello Neighbor 2. I see that the art we had was wrong. The YouTube videos I made of it for both PSVR and Quest, I had that on there. I went back and changed what I could. I didn't even notice. I'm like, God damn it. So this trailer is making me want to go play 2 on flat screen. But anyway.
And I've never played any of these.
I played the first one on Xbox when it first came out. And I enjoyed it, but I got stuck on a puzzle because I haven't had a problem in the VR version, but the original, I think they were just trying to be too vague, and it's a timing thing, like we've been talking about. Like I'm like, I don't have time to figure that out. I'll come back, and I never did.
You're talking about Hello Neighbor?
Yeah. So we'll start with that game. Hello Neighbor Search and Rescue. Their first. I don't know if it's their first ever foray into VR, but it's the first Hello Neighbor in VR, and it's its own thing, search and rescue. I've been playing it for a couple days or a week on Quest 2 and PSVR 2. Both versions are pretty good. Obviously, PSVR looks incredible. Quest 2 looks really good for Quest. I like it. Like, it's very charming. Like, my favorite thing of VR is perspective, as I've said many times here. But you feel like a little kid, kind of, taking on the world. You actually play as a group of kids and you can switch back and forth, and there's fun puzzles, and it has just the right amount of creepy for PJ. Like, it's creepy, but it's just silliness. So I dig it. So far, it's a lot of fun mechanics, a lot of fun puzzles. There's you have, I think they let put the demo version out, and it's kind of the video. If you go to our YouTube channel on either Quest or PSVR 2, it's kind of that. Like, it shows you all the mechanics, like there's slingshots, magnifying glasses, like all kinds of stuff. It's really fun. I really enjoy it so far. Yeah.
I've never played with it. I remember seeing the icon or the cover of the game, and it's like, it reminds me of the Sir You Were Being Hunted, which is a little generated survival escape game where robots are like out to kill you. And yeah. I don't know if I'm up for the creepy. Like, it doesn't bother me, but if I'm going to be sneaking around, I want like Tenchu. I need that.
Yeah.
I need a sequel to Tenchu Z, please, because I'm this close to go booting up the 360 and like rummaging through my whole house to find that disc. I think I know where it's at. And I wonder if
Is
the
that backwards compatible on Xbox? I wonder. Maybe. I don't know.
I remember you and I just used to like play for hours and unlock like a bird sitting on your shoulder that was just like not animated or whatever, just like tough
like a Lego bird.
Yeah, like that's my kind of sneaking around is when there's I want to edge around a guard and then not kill him because I'm so awesomely sneaky. But when you have stuff like that, what it seems like is like you're hiding in somebody's house and it's like the grandma on the end of the street that wants to cook you in a cauldron. It's kind of like I can't insert myself into that scene.
I just think of Goonies and I'm like, yeah.
That might do it. You just need your own perspective.
Yep.
A certain point.
But yeah, I've enjoyed it.
It looks cool. I just never.
Yeah.
I've always like.
I like it that and it's weird in the demo because you're playing you start off as one of the kids. There's a whole group of them. They all do different things. But in the demo, like you get to the end of it and something happens and then that kid is like gone. I'm like, what? But you kind of, at least in that map or whatever you want to call it, that stage, you have a walkie-talkie and you can switch characters, and it's really cool because you do like stuff on this side of the walls and maps, and the other one does this stuff, and it's really cool. Like I really enjoyed the mechanics. You'll see this in the video if you watch it, not the one in the podcast now, but you climb these ropes, and they took me right back to like frickin' school, those climbing ropes, and I could like feel and smell them because they were like really realistic. Like you could swing on them, like it was a trip. But yeah, like the creepy is like Tim Burton creepy. Like it's not like if I'm playing it and enjoying it, it's not bad. But I just like the little hint of creepiness.
Yeah, it just gives you a little suspense boost.
Yeah.
And that game, along with what we were saying about like Among Us, like building actual suspense in a game without being, cheap or disingenuous, is probably pretty hard.
Yeah.
Like I can't tell you when I've legitimately been like, oh shit, in a game.
Yeah. One of my holy crap moments in Hello Neighbor was in the opening is they're teaching you the basics real quick, and you go kind of past each one of the other kids. And I just like, for whatever reason, I did like finger bang, like shooting at one of them. And she actually like pretended like she was getting shot, and like like kids do. And I'm like, what the fuck was that?
It's awesome.
Yeah, it totally blew me away.
Recognize it. That's awesome.
So I don't know what else is built in there. I didn't see anything else yet, but yeah, really enjoying it. Check it out. There, I don't know about VR if there's a demo, but I know they did have a demo. I thought of that first area coming out. So all three of these games came out today, so check them out. Everslaught is it's on Steam and Quest. Hello Neighbors on Steam, Quest, PSVR 2, along with Crimen Mercenary Tales is on Steam and Quest for sure. So yeah. Next, go to Crimen Mercenary Tales. It's a very simple game, but like it's just like over the top storytelling, like old story type things. And I've had a lot of fun in that too. Like you walk into this pub and there's a couple characters and they each have their own story, obviously. And you have like really good like combat and different scenarios you find yourself in. There was like a Transylvania one setting, and I really like that. I was fighting werewolves and a vampire, like, and it gets to the point where like if you're fighting one person, the combat's like simple, so it's like, there's really nothing here. But I was fighting like 5+ people at once, and that gets really cool because it's is that simple, but you like block and parry and stuff, and then other things happen. I won't spoil anything, but um, yeah, and each story took me about a half hour or so, and there's 8 to start with, so 4+ hours there. Really enjoyed it. It's over the top goofiness and humor, but I think they did a really good job. I'm having a lot of fun with it. A lot of different. There's kind of like yeah, there's a boss fight in every story I've done so far. I think I've done the first 4, so half of them, and they're always different and different mechanics. So it's pretty cool. Like in the video, you see the person playing the organ, and then in my video, I didn't show what happens. They kind of did, so whatever. But it was really cool, like just the music and the humor mixed in with it, and then weird shit happens.
That's it.
Very pretty though. There's on the I don't know what else to call it, the Transylvania setting, like climbing up these stairs on this weird tower, and the moon's in the background. It just looks really cool. I took some screenshots.
It looks like it's got a few different kind of visual styles going on. Like when the I'm not watching the clip at the moment, but they're like climbing up the wall with the yellow bricks, and then like the monster sitting there waiting for you, and then craps on you or something like that.
Yeah, it was like that was the pirate woman story. So you're kind of like searching through like Aztec temples and stuff. The tutorial, you just come up to the pub and there's a kid with a donkey outside the pub, and they kind of do a little story for the tutorial. That was pretty funny. It was really cool, like just charming. Like you climb all the way up. It's teaching you mechanics, obviously, but you climb all the way up and you find this treasure chest that really isn't a treasure chest. There's this tiny toy wooden sword, and you pick it up, and it's your imagination bringing it to life to a real sword. I think that stuff's kind of cool. So
you do seem to like that. With like the toys flying like little toy planes around and stuff. Yeah. The other game, the Everslaught, looks kind of like trying a little bit of Assassin's Creed or something.
Yeah, so that's you could play single player. I think it's meant for 2-player co-op. I haven't played 2-player co-op, but yeah, you have like a little wrist whatchamacallit, grappling hook mechanic.
Like a gun and stuff.
If you flip your wrist over, you can use that on different points on the walls. If you flip your wrist like underneath, a little gun will pop up. You get all kinds of weapons. You can upgrade all different things. There's like 3 different classes. It's a wave thing, but if you like wave stuff or not, I'm kind of bored and tired of them. But it did a really good job making it kind of new. Like you could get that you can upgrade between waves and stuff, and you start out in this really big airship, which gets points for me right off the bat. It looks really cool. It's like a whole. It's your like base, your fortress. You have like rooms and shit. You have all your unlocks there, but yeah, there's a lot of different enemies, 3 different classes, so you can kind of mix up how you want to play. There's perks you can add to everything, but it's just like a run and gun wave shooter. But I had a lot of fun with it. I think co-op would probably be a lot of fun because a lot of stuff comes up behind you too, so it'd be nice to have a person watching your back.
Interesting.
I didn't fall down on my knees like the gentleman in the trailer and sweat, but I had fun.
All 3 of these came out today, huh? That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't. That seems to happen with VR. Like they just don't care what else is coming out. Seems like you maybe would want to stagger some of that. I don't know, but
you do. When you mention some of the stuff, you do sort of like seem to have like a weekend full of stuff to try out.
it comes in waves, and it's like, oh, because like I've been playing Jedi Survivor. I still haven't. I think I had like 30 minutes left of the story, and Zelda came out, and I got and then Lego 2K Drive came out, and and then all these games came out, so it was really hard to focus and get these done. It's like, yeah, that's why space them out, give us some time, man.
The last game I played, we tried to play Star Wars Squadrons, and I think lobbies must be dead. And then it's just such a shame because I'm not a big fan of the fleet battle mode, I guess. I don't remember. I guess I don't like it. But then we had like one person join that was just using like the cheapest setup, just ion stun and shoot, and ion stun and shoot. And like, I can't do this.
Yeah,
that's the last game I played.
The highly unbalanced loadout for that cheap shit.
Yeah. It's hard for me to keep up right now. The Hello Neighbor 2 footage looks crazy. I know you said this is the flat screen version that we're looking at, but
it's a different game and flat screen. That's
okay. I just keep seeing some bird beak in a turtleneck. Like, what the hell? What the hell?
Yeah, I love you start out the tutorial in that, and it shows you a couple of things, and then you get up. You're in a treehouse, and then you go down the zip line, and you just land in this pile of like beds and pillows and stuff. It's really cool. And I guess I don't know. It doesn't really, and I love it. Like, there's no talking. They don't say like. There's really nothing to tell you anything. Just like clues and stuff. So I'm assuming this guy is like stealing kids for some reason. I don't know what's really going on. So I got to get to the bottom of it. Detective PJ's on it. But it was weird. If you watch my, I think it was the PSVR2 version. You come up into his house the first time, and it was really weird. And I think I said it in the video. I'm like, this really is creepy because it reminds me of our grandparents' old house, like just the old floors and walls, and like, and that's the power of VR. Like, that was the creepiest part to me. Like, just the weird wallpaper, and you can kind of see it in this trailer, even it's a little different. But yeah, just creepy. It is not fast paced like what we're seeing if you're watching the trailer behind us.
The VR one, is it? Or the whole game?
No, you're like the whole game of the VR version that I've played so far. Like, that looks like maybe they had the video on crack or something. I don't know. So yeah, it's quite a day.
So content.
If I were one of those people, I don't really like to do reviews or rank things, but I've spent a good amount of time in these 3 games. I'm like, well, what one? If I could only play one, buy one, pick one, what would it be? And I can't really decide between Hello Neighbor and Crimen. Everslaught's probably the weakest for me, just because a wave shooter and stuff. But I think if you had a fun co-op buddy or something, I think that'd be a blast. But the other 2 are single player. But I like them both a lot. I think Crimen's $14.99, and I think Hello Neighbor's $30. On the PS VR2, I wouldn't mind paying $30. On the Quest 2, I think that might. Again, I'm not even halfway through it, so I can't really say. But in these days, it's hard for me to like pay $30 for a Quest game, even though it runs fine, it looks great. Check out the video if you want. Like, it's just
What's the difference between the Quest and the PSVR 2 then? Like, if you wouldn't mind paying $30 in the PSVR 2, why is that?
It's just the and the graphics aren't the most important thing, but it looks so much better, and it's just colorful and smooth. I mean, it's like the difference between like Xbox One and like a Series X or a PS4 and a PS5. Really, or even worse.
That
They're more
means nothing
different.
to me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, it's just phone processor versus like a fucking computer.
Yeah, true. I suppose.
But I'm not knocking the Quest 2 version at all because, like I said, it looks good and it plays well. But once you play the other one, it's like, I couldn't. But some people value the non-cable. Whatever you're into, they're both good. I played that opening half hour, I think, 3 times on each of them, not on purpose, just out of necessity. But I actually enjoyed it each time, which is kind of crazy. But I do love me some swashbuckling.
Yeah, it's always a good time. I think I heard something that Microsoft said that they had officially lost the console war. So I don't know if PlayStation was winning, but then now I hear people saying, "Well, I guess PSVR 2 is over." And I was like, "Where do people get this crap?"
It's just social media being stupid. Social
Right,
media,
yeah.
like,
Because like I'm still riding on like if I don't go hardly into stores unless I have to, but if I walked into a Best Buy right now, there's a PS5 and a PSVR 2 sitting there. Based on what you told me, just from the racing game and some of the quality of the presentation, it'd be like I'd be hard pressed not to just buy it.
mhm.
So it'd be like an impulse buy for me at this point, even though it's not really because I've been thinking, like, stay away, because then I got to buy a racing wheel and all the new
Yeah,
pedals. 'Cause my one's broken.
if you weren't like 20 hours away from me,
You just get me hooked on it
but
at your house.
yeah, to clarify, like Phil Spencer did really say like Sony won this generation. Like he did say that, and whatever you want to do with that information,
Phil Spencer
you know.
now. Again, I'm not a super high up into the whole like we're going to evaluate this, but isn't don't I might be misquoting this. Isn't he the guy that worked at Dreamcast? Was there another guy that moved to Microsoft after Dreamcast? I just remember Phil Spencer being kind of like, "Who gives a shit?" What he said.
I don't remember. I don't think it was Phil Spencer that worked at Dreamcast or Sega or whatever, but 'cause I think he's been at Microsoft a while.
Yeah, there was one of the Dreamcast execs that kind of like sold him out. I thought it was him, but then I'm pretty sure it was him that was like when the Xbox One came out. There's even a Penny Arcade comic making fun of him. He's just so full of himself, and he's like, I remember there was like where the journalists woke up and remembered they had balls, and it was some sort of like EGM article or something like that, and they're like other journalists were like, "How awesome is your console and all your games?" And he's like, "So awesome." And then they said, the journalists had balls, and they said, "How crappy is your console?" And chug and whir and all the noise at the Xbox One. And it was like the same panel as the other version. It was like so awesome, and it's just like, who gives a shit?
I don't know. Like it's weird because like my perspective, like, and I'm not. I love Xbox, but I'm not like a fanboy of really anything. He came into a bad situation and did a lot of good from my point of view with all kinds of things. I don't know, but
Maybe he did. I have. I wish I had a photographic memory, but I just have an impression of like, oh crap, it's that guy again. So sorry, I'm not a real journalist, folks. Maybe I should take that more seriously. But then it's kind
what
of
I
like,
do like about him is it's obvious, and he plays games. Like he's a gamer, so that yeah.
maybe my impression's wrong. I'm not sure. But also, how can you give a shit if somebody's won a console generation? When did the Series X come out? And when did the PS5 come out? They're that old already?
Yeah, it's been 3 years, I think.
But isn't it still like some shortages in some areas? Or even like, how can you even say like a console, like the generation's begun when half the people that want them couldn't get them for like 2 years?
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know
oh, I
because
guess,
they've already they're already talking about the mid-grade versions of both, and it's like,
This
okay.
is the reason why I still have a Quest 1. Again, I've got stick drift. Like I just put my thumb on my stick and I just start running backward. I've still got the Xbox One and a PS4, and it's just like by the time I get around to finding a game that would make me upgrade, it would be so far past like I wouldn't need to upgrade because the next one's coming out. I don't buy into the fast changing. A lot of people are like, oh, I can't keep a phone that long. I can't keep a phone longer than 6 months. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm still using my OnePlus 6T, and I bought a nothing phone, the American, like, the beta for that, and I'm switching stuff over to it. But my OnePlus 6T, which I don't even know how old that thing is, it's been here for ages, still kicking around. I just can't get behind the wastefulness of that. Just like, let's just throw all our copper and chipsets that we worked so hard to get and just throw it in the trash. So when there's like, I'm still like, my Xbox, I think it was already been 3 years since I did the Ultimate Game Pass deal, and that just expired this month. I remember like, holy crap, 3 years ago I'd like bought 3 years and did all that stuff, and then a friend of ours was like, oh crap, I got to go do that again. I'm like, are you even playing Xbox? And he's been playing PS5, and he's like, I think you bought it and set it all up, and then he's like, well, no, I guess I have to play Xbox, but I've been playing PS5. I was like, but Zelda's coming out. I'm pretty sure you're just going to play that. Like, I haven't even used the Ultimate in that 3 years. I've never used the Windows side of the Ultimate Game Pass crap.
Yeah.
It's like,
I only did twice, and it was for VR.
it's like part of me wants it to be like all this stuff. Again, I'm not like lost. It's moving too fast, but it's also like you got to show me some value before I'm going to drop the money. I mean, I had the email for like the Halo version of the Series X from Microsoft. I could have bought it, sitting there like, nah. I probably could have sold it for I don't know how much, but it just make somebody else's day. I'd rather have that. I don't care. Like I could have like 10 of each console sitting here without financial strain, but it's still like, where's the value for me? I don't see it. The only snag was I tried to boot up Flight Simulator, the newest one, and it wouldn't work on the Xbox One because you need a Series X. But then there was like the game streaming, and it would have worked. And I was like, I didn't feel like booting it up at that point. I had lost interest. I'm like, it would have played it streaming for me. I'm like, just like the Quest 1. Why do I need to buy a Quest Pro if everything I need is already here? So that's what I'm kind of missing out. I'm trying to find the value in some of this. Like, it feels like fast fashion, that thing, like you got to have every week, you got to have new pants and shoes. It's like, I don't go to the store then. What are you supposed to do? So if somebody's got an answer, ping us on some sort of social media or comment on a video, but like, how do you balance all that? Because it's literally like, just need to shut up and play more games and just be like happy with what I get instead of being like, well, that's always been a problem for me. It's like, well, it's fell a little short, and I feel like some people get sick of you when you say that stuff. So it's kind of like, I just need to shut up and play more games. I don't know. It's interesting. What's the answer, PJ? What's the verdict?
Everyone's different. Like I could play, like obviously, like I played last weekend. I played 8 different games for at least an hour each. And that doesn't sound like much, but I enjoyed every hour, and it was a lot, even for me. But yeah, but we know, and you've always been like one game at a time, and that
I like to get lost in it. So if it's not really immersive, there's got to be a reason for it. Then that also increases like the value. I mean, it's not like graphics are the value or super amazing story, or like something's got to be worth it for me to put off that guilty feeling of I got shit to do around the house and I got projects to work on. I'm going to take 6 hours or something to play a game. It's got to have value. And then I can boot up Warcraft and like spend 6 hours decorating a dwarf to look like a shaman.
It's just perspective and what you want to do. like I've unfortunately, I think this is probably the right mindset for me. Like Quest, anything on Quest is like short bursts, and play it for half hour, have fun, and then come back to it. Like PC VR, there's other games like I've played some games for like 60 hours, and they're bigger experiences, and that's what I like the most. There just aren't as many, so and it's timing. Like I said, like Hogwarts Legacy came out, I spent a lot of time in there, and then Jedi Survivor came out, and I spent a shit ton of time in there, and then I'm in Zelda and Lego 2K Drive, and now I'm having guilt about getting back to Gran Turismo because Beth bought me the shifter for my birthday, and I haven't installed it yet, and I'm gonna suck. But
It'll take a little
I still like with the wheel and pedals. Like I love it, but I'm like kind of like I don't know where I'm at like game progress, but I'm beginning into where like I have to try to do a race 4 or 5 times to get the right car set up and then beat it.
Yeah.
But I think that's how the game is, so that's fine.
Mhm.
I do really well with some cars, and then some cars is like I can't keep that fucker on the road.
That's just how they are too.
Yeah. And now I'm going to add the shifting to it, and it's going to be a party. But still fun, like I don't know.
The only advice I can give is sometimes when you're not really driving the car, because you wouldn't be driving 100 miles an hour, 150 miles an hour, but like what always gets me in games when I'm trying to shift and race, but in a manual, when you're slowing down to take a corner, I'm always kind of like, do I just shift down one gear, just skip it and go like skip a whole gear and go down from like third to first, or not really first, but like fourth to second? That'll save you some headache. You might go into the corner a little better. Otherwise, you're
thought about that,
and you'll shudder it right off the road.
Which is right where I'm at. That's my wheelhouse.
Yeah. Which is why I thought the crew games, when that first crew game came out, like that's a really good idea for an MMO because it's grindy, but then that's what racing games like. You don't mind the grind because you're practicing the racetrack.
Yeah.
And then you just drive however you want in the car, you can boost up. Second,
I mean, honestly, what else can you do in a driving game? Unless you have like shooting out the window, which is a VR game I want, but
but I mean, we played the crap out of that until they got like one race was so hard we just couldn't beat it. We couldn't get past somewhere in Texas. Yeah. It's like we played the hell out of that first one. Like I wouldn't mind driving around like that in VR. Because then practicing a racetrack, you're just improving your lap time. It's not like getting Furbolg rep in old school Warcraft for 6 months.
Yeah, that's a bit much
for an enchant you're going to use once.
Another I'm going to change the topic, so if you're still going, sorry.
Sure.
It popped in my head. I was just going to say, I thought another weird thing, like I really liked Jedi Survivor, but the whole time I was playing it, I had such a deeper desire to come back to VR and play Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy.
I think that would happen if you like if it's like that, detailed, and I think the PSVR 2 version of that looks fantastic.
It is insane. But
if you play any Star Wars anything, you're going to want to be like, I want that VR. So you have to go back and get your jolt.
It's funny because like I've played Tales in the Galaxy. I think I'm on my 5th run now that it's come out on PlayStation. And it was just like that. Like there were certain points. It's like I could just go play that now. And I love Survivor. Like I had a lot of fun. I'm having fun with it, but just so weird. I don't know. My brain does weird shit, I guess.
Yeah. I think social media is tainting me on some of the gamer stuff. There's only a couple of people I follow, but they're all like, I am so not a console warrior. And then that's all they fucking talk about. I'm like, fun follow. So weird. But everyone was like split down the middle on the Jedi Survivor. And I'm like, I think people just, but like people just like being angry because the Hogwarts game came out and it's like everyone was like hateful this and this and that, and then right down the middle 2 camps, and now there's 2 camps for the Jedi Survivor because there were some bugs on launch, which every game has nowadays. Like that didn't seem like the social justice side by side camp. It just seemed like you guys were going to split into two camps and yell about stuff, and then the Tears of the Kingdom stuff, and it's just like if you I saw that some magazine gave it a 9 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10. I guess I shouldn't play it. And it's like people just angry. Get off the site and just go lay down. Good God. Like I can't get a good read on what's actually fun anymore. Like, hey, I didn't know about this, and it's just all crap. So.
I do like that PSVR 2 has, I don't know, I think it's like 6 or so demos. Like they've kind of brought back demos. Like here, just check it out. Yes, on Quest and Steam you can buy it and return it, but that's kind of not the same. So
I'm still waiting for a rental service. Mm-hmm. Just let me play it for a weekend, and if I like it, then I'll buy it.
Yeah,
because you can't 2 hours of gameplay. You'll be sitting in the lobby waiting for that, friend of mine to get off the crap.
Yeah, your Quest battery could die by then.
So in some games, you have to get in quite a ways before you're like, oh, this is actually not paying off, and then it's far too late. So
it's tough. I know, like, see ya. I'm not helpful to you because I play it so much, and I'm mostly positive. Like I'll tell you if I don't like something or I think something needs some work. I'm good at that, but overall, I just enjoy most games to the point where like some people online have been like, you must get paid for whatever you like. Everything like, dude, I lose money doing what we're doing.
Someone called you like on one Twitter. This is ages ago. I think it was about Heartlands, and they called you like, you can't just go around having this toxic positivity or nothing will ever, progress. And I was like, there's toxic positivity now? What the fuck?
Apparently.
Somebody's just naturally positive and sees the good in just about anything, and that's toxic now.
Just trying to cancel some of those fuckers out. I don't know.
Isn't that how we're supposed to be? Like, again, I don't like the game. I don't want to play it, but I'm glad you do because you can go home and have fun with it. That's awesome. And that's toxic.
And I could sit here for every single game, and if anyone listening, watching has questions like, "Hey, what sucked about it?" I can tell you, but I'm just like, overall, I have fun with it. That's what I care about. That's why I'm here. I'm like, I'm very supportive of mostly indie devs, but all devs. But feedback and hey, I think this should be a thing and that, and a lot of games have actually listened and turned around things and added stuff based on our chats here, which is insane to me. But I've played a lot of games and I know what I like and I know what pisses me off, and so I'll tell you. I'm not going to come on the podcast or even on social media and just berate shit because I don't think I could berate some things, but it's just not me.
Whereas I go on rants a lot.
Sometimes you need that.
I'm trying to let it happen. I know we're all waiting for the perfect game for us to come along, which is never going to happen. But it's also like I can have 10 games waiting for me that you are like, come on, these are awesome. And I'm like, I don't see what's going to make me want to keep playing this. But then I'll go on GTA Online, I'll get one of those kicks, and I'll just drive a car around for 4 hours.
You never know. I never know what is going to just make you play something,
I don't need
to be the weirdest character creation. I know that's like a day for you if a new game comes out.
I might even play the game when I'm done. I'm like, that looks cool.
You're like, yeah, I'm good. And that's cool. You enjoyed it.
The intro. And you almost got
some games,
the Lego 2K Drive, but then I was like, oh, I think this one's a microtransaction thing. I'm just gonna get it.
It's so fun.
But it's $60.
I know. It's
which is fine, but
it's actually 70. isn't it?
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's a 2K game. They're all 70 is the new 60.
I think that on Steam it was $59.99.
Oh, nice. And there's crossplay on that, so and I love seeing that on all systems now. Crossplays becoming like very, very prominent, and I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too many topics. Probably go all night.
So yeah, thanks for not wrapping up quite yet, but thanks for putting up with our um what do we want to call it, sabbatical.
Scheduling and
Yeah,
retooling time.
but we're gonna have I believe three of the guys from the team that made the VR game Blockbuster is basically Rampage in VR, and it's a blast. Next week, so come on back. Check that game out if you haven't. We'll be talking about it. I've had a lot of fun with it. I grew up on Rampage in the arcade and then on consoles, and I just fucking
keep the people out of the windows. All I ever tried to do. You'd be beating on me and be like, "Come on, I gotta get this broad."
You can do that in Blockbuster, but it's like the shit the people say because like it's VR, so you're like they're right here. And one of them was saying like fart jokes and shit. I'm like, I was just losing it. Like
I might have to buy that.
It was good. So yeah,
good stuff.
Going forward, our plan will be in our normal setup like this until we get the other one working. We thought we had some constraints here, which clearly we don't. We didn't know. So we've been talking about how busy things are. So we're planning doing like 2 episodes a month or so and just, going that route. So thanks for putting up with us.
We'll be more consistent, more regular. I'll try to buy some VR games and you actually know what I'm talking about. Instead of just being the straight man. Not good being the straight man. Yeah, let us know what games you might like to hear us yap about.
Our guests that you want to hear from.
Yeah.
And all that.
I'll just make a Wookiees, rant corner about some game that rubbed me the wrong way.
That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Yep.
Again, we're supposed to say this at the top of the show, but for those listening to the audio version, we're doing this live in VR. You can check us on YouTube and our meta page, which is weird to say. We're in our own little custom VR world here. Next week, we'll have some of the Blockbuster assets and all that fun stuff. Maybe we can climb a building in here. We'll see.
Throw you out the window.
That'd be awesome. Now that would be a fun VR game, that those sumo suit wrestling, and you could literally pick the person up and throw them or something. I would like that.
Oh, I just watched the episode of the Kenshin anime where there's like a sumo wrestler. Yeah, Doskoi. Yeah, it has to be pinched on the butt.
Yeah, I love that one.
I do remember the word. I just saw it and I couldn't remember the word.
That thing that has stuck with me. When did we watch that? In like early 90s? First time?
No? Early 90s. Late 90s? No, it came out in 96, 98.
Yeah, time is weird.
It was 2000 or so.
That makes sense. I don't know why that episode is one of the ones that like are just kind of in my head all the time.
I remember the butt pinch. And, yeah, there's always blips stick out with the word. It would be kind of funny. Pick up somebody's sumo belt.
Yeah. And it just like rips.
Oh no. Being the guy that got picked up, you'd be like, what the fuck?
Telling you. Something there.
Brought to you by PJ and the gang. Patented game idea. Can't take it. Don't take it. We'll come up with
I-
something. We'll just have a sumo
Take
ring
it.
right here.
Take it and make it so I can play it. I don't care.
Dude, let's make it happen.
Yeah.
I want like the little light chess game from Star Wars, but have like sumo wrestlers and all the different ideas we have right here in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Hungry post.
I was so excited, and then won this. I promise. Jedi Survivor. There is like a digital battle game that you can play in the cantina. It's not what's in the movie, but it's actually a lot of fun. Like it's very strategic. Pretty cool. Just thought you should know. I played that for like 4 hours straight one of the days I was playing.
Is it like as addicting as Gwent is in Witcher 3 when you first start playing that shit? Because
I think so. I don't know if you would think so, but I played it for 4 hours straight.
like when I got into
it's weird. You find like the new enemies you happen upon, and it kind of makes you want to explore the creatures you find. Like they will, once you see them and it adds them to your codex, they'll show up as in that game as like usable characters. So it's really cool. Like the whole world can be brought into that.
So wait, you're in a real world playing a virtual world, and inside the virtual world, you can rebuild the virtual world based on the amount of the.
No, just the characters. Like if I kill like a Wampa, that Wampa will then be usable in that digital game in the cantina.
Wow.
As like a, I don't want to say card, but like a usable character thing. Like chess, kind of, but not chess.
Interesting. I still got to go play the game before that. Because that was on Game Pass. But that just ran out.
Chip.
All right. We have kept you guys long enough. Thanks everyone watching, listening.
See you next week. Peace out.
Where's my space bar?